So tonight we're back in downtown Riverside. Not always our videos that get the most views, but it's right in... Uh-oh. Tonight we're in downtown Riverside checking out the Festival of Lights at the Mission Inn to see what it looks like in 2020. There's a lot of people already so far, maybe not as many as normal. Lots of music going on right now. There's vendors selling food. The Mission's right behind me. You can see some of the lights. So join us on this experience. It seems significantly less decorated than normal. Oh yeah, so we'll come over this way. At least there's trees here. Yeah, cool. Yeah, whereas up on the top here, like it's normal. I think this part's normally decorated with some of the figurines or lights up there, but there's nothing on this side. And we'll see. I bet there's not a whole lot on this side either. Interesting. Yeah, there is nothing because they normally have a lot of activities going on. Yeah, that's amazing. This is often, yeah, well, I don't want to say more decorated, but all the sides are always equally decorated with lights and all kinds of different decorations along the side. We'll link the video from last year down below if you want to check out the differences in the two. All they've got is a string of white lights up on the top. There's normally lights going on over here with lots of people taking pictures. Normally coming up here just to the left is normally some inflatables or some lights. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is, but we'll see if it doesn't look like there's any of that either. And over here is what I was talking about on the top of the garage, or the parking structure, if you will. This was all decorated up. There's nothing here. So I wonder if Orange Street side has anything on it, which is what's coming up right here. So it's not surprising it's empty on this side because there's nothing to see. Well, so that answers our question of what Festival of Lights Mission Inn looks like in 2020. I can see a little bit of lights coming up on the other side of these arches here. But I'm thinking maybe the bears aren't here either because they normally have all the bears in the windows. So there's a little bit of lights here now. It's mostly just the trees. Here's an entrance.
This year, of course, they're only allowing hotel, event, and restaurant guests. Normally, you could just walk in there.
Yeah, completely closed off because a lot of people, besides the outside, like to go inside and check out the historic Mission Inn, as it's one of the probably oldest mainstays in Riverside. Got some lighted swans. But I'm looking up in the windows and I don't see any of the figurines or the figures they normally have. They have carolers and bears up in the windows usually, but there's nothing there. I mean, I'll be honest, normally it takes 20-25 minutes just to walk around this thing because one, we're going slow because we're checking out all of the lights and everything, and two, because there's normally such a crowd that you just can't move quickly. I'm wondering if they really only have the Mission Inn Street side decorated, which we're coming up to now. Let's see. It looks like we can kind of walk up here. So this is looking a little bit more like it normally does, but still extremely conservative in the decorations. Some very cool nutcrackers though. Those are about 15 feet tall. Let me pan up a little bit and we can see up there. Let me zoom in a little bit if I can. We'll zoom in, and right up on the top, it's Mission Inn all lit up. And we'll walk up a little bit and the people taking pictures in front of the nutcrackers. And these are some cool kind of ornament looking decorations. And there's some like a 3D display up here. There's a teddy bear that's moving with some gifts. down a little bit. So they've got a little bit of some of the kind of figurines that they normally have around in the windows. And this is cool because they've got some Merry Christmas ornaments. And then here's the up close of this guy. And then another sign saying hotel, event, and restaurant guest entrance only. So we'll come over here and get a better shot of this display. And once we turn around, we've got the archway that's all lit up. And then a lot of people taking pictures, so we'll kind of sneak through here quickly. Up close of one of these ornaments with smaller ornaments in it. There's the backside of the Nutcracker. And as I pan, you can really see this is a really cool shot here. So at least the front of the Mission Inn is generally decorated. Here's a really nice shot this way while Ashley tries to duck from the camera. So that's pretty nice back there. It looks like this right here is normally a lit up tree, but it's not lit up at all.
I wonder if they have turned most of the lights off because of the stay-at-home order.
And they may be, yeah. California officially right now is under that enhanced stay-at-home order, which right now is pretty much at least through the end of the year. And then, it'll be evaluated kind of, on an ongoing basis. And so there's a lot of people out here. Most people seem to be wearing their masks on. We passed by some that weren't, but generally, if everybody's out minding, their own kind of area and wearing the mask, that generally complies with what the guidance was. We didn't quite start recording when we thought we did. Here's back from the corner where we started. Nothing on the building, just a little bit of decorations hanging from the trees and the lights. But down this way, down Main Street, there was much more. And now we can get a better shot of this Christmas tree here that's all the way up the side of the downtown building.
Oh, we found Santa.
Oh, we did find Santa outside of one of our favorite shops in Riverside, the Mission Galleria Antiques and Consignments. It's a 3-story, basically antique consignment store. We've bought many treasures from there. And here is a life-size Santa, who generally is always here with a really, really cool antique lantern. And because it is a retail store, the antique store is in fact open. They normally have a stage downtown here where they do, where they'll have different local bands performing, which obviously they don't have this year because that would just kind of attract crowds. And these trees have a little bit more of like a Hanukkah feel with the white and blue lights because it's the Festival of Lights. It's not exclusive to Christmas. But as you look all the way down Main Street to where I believe it's the courthouse down at the end of Main Street, a lot more lights down there actually. But I can't remember if it got captured or not, or if I hadn't been recording yet, but it's exciting because we're trying out a brand new gimbal we just got for the camera too. So hopefully this will look smoother than some of my videos when I'm just holding it by hand. There's a nice full shot of all those lights. And then typically on a normal year, at the very end down here at the street right before the last building is normally a little tiny bit of a carnival with a couple of little small kid rides and like a Ferris wheel. Definitely not going to have any of that this year. And then this tree here is always here. Let's see if I can get the top of it. That's always here every year. Yep, as we get down here, I can see the street where they normally, it's all blocked off typically, and they have the rides set up. And then on the other side of the building, they actually take over the entire parking lot for almost like the little Christmas carnival. None of that exists this year. About all that's down here is just those kind of blue, pink color changing like snowflakes and stars hanging. So I guess we could turn and get a shot back up Main Street a little bit, which to me because being that I'm from Vermont, Main Street here actually reminds me considerably of Church Street in downtown Burlington. They're both same general idea, streets running right down the middle of downtown that are blocked off for cars. They have cross streets going through, but it's all just walking and shopping areas. So it's kind of interesting that I happen to find somewhere that's very reminiscent of Burlington, except it would be like 20 degrees and snowing right now, and it's like 55 degrees and brisk for me now. That's why I'm all bundled up with a hat and a coat. Well, that's downtown Riverside. That's the Festival of Lights at the Mission Inn. Not at all what I expected it to be. I figured they would have still had all the full lights and decorations out. They didn't. 3 of the sides had nothing, and then they had the front of it what looked like fully decorated as normal. And then the street, like behind me on Main Street, has a bit going on, but definitely nowhere near the crowds as normal, which is the point and the intent of it. Still some people out. It is a Friday night too, so I expected it to be maybe a little busier than the week, but it was still enjoyable for us to come out and see some lights. I know Declan liked it. We'll drive around the neighborhood a little bit after this in the old downtown part of Riverside and check out some of the lights in that area. But I hope you liked the video. If so, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. If you ring the bell below, you'll get notifications of all of our future videos. There's my thumbs up reminder. As always, be kind and be real, and join us on our next experience.